Oh, how's it going, East Tennessee? As we get over these next couple of days, we've got a few days of sunshine to take advantage before things get messy again as we head towards the end of the week. So Wednesday, we see some more of those increasing clouds ahead of the storm. Thursday, looking at storms coming through during the afternoon, and we transition to Friday. Some of that could actually turn into some snow flurries. But looking at the upper levels right now, we have some high pressure coming on the way. That's what's bringing these nice conditions as we get through Tuesday and Wednesday. But this is the big old low pressure system that's going to swing into the area on Thursday and Friday. That is going to bring not just some storms, but also some much colder temperatures as we get through. But once we get past into the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, that high pressure works its way right back in so that we can have a great start into next week. But let's take a closer look at the storms we're looking at for Thursday. Here's that heavy cloud cover that I mentioned that we'll be seeing for most of Wednesday daytime. There was a light chance for some storms that will come before the front on Wednesday night, but those have continued to kind of trend out of our direction. But as we get from Wednesday night to Thursday, this low pressure system and the associated fronts going to work its way into Tennessee. You see around noon, most of the state is going to be seeing this rain already. A couple of lighter showers making their way in first, and then we see that heavier rain getting into the afternoon. We are going to see some thunderstorms, but we're not looking at any severe threat right now. There is a slight chance further to our south in parts of Alabama and Georgia, but not here in East Tennessee. Now again, this cold front is actually going to have some very decent strength behind it. So as it passes, we see that colder air sink in, and it's going to open up the possibility for some flurries and maybe even a wintry mix, especially as we get further into the mountains. And then after that, again, there's that high pressure that brings the nicer conditions. But in terms of rainfall, it's going to be pretty similar to what we saw on Sunday. So mainly around an inch for pretty much the entire area from the plateau even to upper East Tennessee and further down into the valley. When it comes to snowfall, it's also kind of staying on the light side. Definitely less than an inch if we see anything here in the valley. The plateau also likely going to be seeing less than or maybe around an inch. We see those higher totals as we get to those very high elevations getting into the mountains, especially over around 3,000 feet. Now, of course, this is not something that we are entirely sure of right now because we're still in this 4 to 7 outlook time period. We're still waiting for some of our models to agree. So that is something that we'll continue to investigate as we get into the following days. But I can tell you for sure those temperatures are going to take a steep drop, getting up to 65 degrees on Thursday, down to 40 on Friday. That's a 25-degree difference from day to day, and then only rising a little bit more on Saturday before things get a little bit better on Sunday. Similar story for the lows, even though we were already starting kind of cold from this past cold front on Sunday. 28 degrees as we go from Monday night into Tuesday, and then Wednesday in the 30s. Thursday, we wake up to 50 degrees, and then we drop right back down to about 36 when we wake up Friday morning. That chillier temperature in the 30s is going to be what makes it possible for us to see those flurries, but if it is going to stay cold enough, it could actually possibly stick. But we look past that, we're going to continue to have an above average January despite a couple of days of cold, and it seems like it's going to continue to be wet as well. We don't even have drought conditions anymore throughout the entire state. But take a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, make sure you take advantage of the warming temperatures as we get through Tuesday and Wednesday. It will be a little bit cloudier on Wednesday, but as per usual, the warmest day of the week also seems to be the wettest day of the week, and then we could see possibly some snow flurries as we get into Friday morning. Then temperatures make their way back up to the 50s as we get started with next week.